Your electricity bill went up again this year, and you noticed. Nobody explained why. What you were not told is where that extra money goes. Meanwhile, in a factory somewhere, a pair of hands is winding copper wire onto a steel core, slowly, entirely by hand. Those two things are connected, and expensively. Almost nobody talks about it. That link decides how fast the boom grows. So, we are going to follow one single number, from the line printed on your bill, all the way to the place where it ends up. It begins with a request on a form. A company asks a utility to connect one new building to the grid. That is the trigger. The building is a data center, a warehouse full of machines. They answer questions and train models around the clock. They never switch off. One of these can ask for as much power as a small city. Some ask for far more. Many are already built. In 2025, utilities logged connection requests. Together, they passed 700 gigawatts. Hold that number. Here is what that means. The whole United States consumed 477 gigawatts, every home and factory together. So the requests are larger than the whole country's consumption. That is not a misprint. It is simply what was asked for. Now the honest part, because that number gets thrown around. Some requests are the same project. It asks several utilities at once. Developers secure options rather than building everything. Nobody knows how much is counted twice. That uncertainty is real. But even the cautious reading is enormous. Global data center power is set to pass 1,000 terawatt-hours. That is a step change. That is roughly double what it was 2 years earlier. And the grid that carries it is not doubling. It is barely growing at all. A power grid is not a tap you can open wider. It is physical machinery spread across a continent. Machinery has hard limits. In the eastern states, one operator runs the grid for 65 million people. That covers 13 states. It is the largest. Every year that operator holds an auction, the point is to secure enough capacity for the years ahead. It normally works quietly. In December 2025, that auction failed. It was the first failure in its history. Nothing like it had happened. It missed its own reliability target. The shortfall was 6,600 megawatts, a small country. Its own market monitor named the cause plainly. Data center load growth, it said, is the primary reason. No hedging. Capacity costs for that single year rose by 174%. That is not a gradual drift. That is a step. And those costs do not evaporate. They arrive on bills, spread across everyone connected, including you. The operator expects 6.3 billion in extra costs, spread over 3 years, mostly from data centers. Meanwhile, the queue keeps getting longer. Projects wait years to be studied. Never mind being connected. Up to half of all planned data centers are already running late. The reason is not the servers, it is not the buildings either. So why can the grid not simply be built faster? The answer is far smaller than anyone expects. It fits in a single room. To move electricity across a country, you need transformers. They are steel cores wrapped in long coils of copper wire. That is the whole device. They are unglamorous grey boxes nobody photographs. Every substation is full of them. Without them, nothing moves anywhere. Ordering one used to take months. Today, the average wait is 128 weeks. That is 2.5 years. Somewhere, a worker stands at a winding machine. They lay copper onto a core, layer by layer. It cannot be rushed. For the largest machine transformers, the average is worse. 144 weeks, nearly 3 full years. And demand keeps climbing. Specialist units have reached 4 years. For a few, the wait exceeds 5. Ordered today, delivered next decade. And here is the part that surprises almost everyone. The bottleneck is not steel. It is not the special electrical sheet metal either. It is not capital either, which is what most assume. Almost $2 billion is flowing into new plants. Those open in 3 years. The binding constraint is roughly 15,000 people. Their job is winding those copper coils by hand. You cannot simply hire more. So the largest capital surge in the history of technology is waiting, not on chips and not on money. It waits on a pair of trained hands. Power prices in America have risen sharply. That part is not disputed. The argument is about the reason. The average was 13 cents a kilowatt hour before 2019. By late last year, 19, a quarter more. Across 5 years, that is 42%. In Washington, it was 94. In Maryland, 74. Last year alone, household prices rose 11.5%. That is much faster than inflation. Wages did not follow. In the first half of that year, utilities filed for rate increases. Together, they came to $29 billion, double the year before. On a kitchen table, an envelope lies unopened. Inside is a number larger than last year. Somebody decides what to cut. From 2020 to 24, household prices rose a quarter. Commercial prices barely moved at all. That gap is the point. So the customers using the most electricity saw the smallest rise. Those using the least saw the largest. That asymmetry is the story. And the increase does not land evenly either. It lands hardest where there is least room. That is no accident. Low-income households and renters spend heavily on energy. For some, it reaches a fifth of what they earn. 1/5. Higher-income households spend around 3%. The same rise hits one group 7 times harder. Different life. The anger about all of this is entirely understandable and justified. But the numbers used to express it need care. Here is why. A senator said bills near large data centers had risen. She put the figure at 267%. It sounded devastating. In a hearing room, 3 figures sit at a long table. That number is read into the record. Nobody present questions it at the time. Fact-checkers later rated that claim mostly false. The figure was a wholesale price at one point on the grid, never a household bill. Supply is only 30 to 50% of what a household pays. The rest is delivery and taxes, those barely moved. Which means even the criticism gets exaggerated, and exaggeration makes a real problem easy to dismiss. That is the danger here. Data centers are not the only cause of the rise. Aging equipment pushes prices up as well. So does rebuilding generation. Gas plant construction costs have tripled since 2022. That alone would have raised bills. It is not small. And some serious analyses argue the opposite. They say investment at this scale makes power cheaper. That case genuinely exists. What is actually being decided is narrower than that. It is simply who carries the cost while the grid catches up. Somebody has to. Several states are now writing special tariffs into law. The idea is that large users pay for what they trigger, not everybody else. Which brings us back to the copper from the beginning. The boom is waiting on hands. Until they catch up, you pay for the wait. If you want to see the next one, subscribe, and tell me down in the comments below which system should I open up for you next.